Hey guys, I want to go over a little bit of how you start your program. Sketchpad 5.1, there is a link that you hit, is right below the assignment. There's a video, and then this actually, if you're watching the video, you've already found that link. So, Sketchpad 5.1, the first thing you want to do is you want to work on your background. So, the bucket always controls your background. As soon as you click the bucket, you will have some choices. You've got plain color, you've got linear, radial, and pattern. Now, since the name of this assignment is Springing into Symmetry, brief reminder of what symmetry is. Symmetry is one of the three types of balance you can have in art. Radial is one, symmetry is one, and asymmetry is one. Symmetry is simply means when you take a design and draw a line down the middle, both sides are exactly the same, then that's what symmetry is. Symmetry just simply means both sides match. So, to start our design, the first thing you want to do is put your background in. Since we're doing a spring, I decided to go ahead and go with a radial. I chose the light blue. It's already right here. If I wanted to choose a different one, I would simply click it, change to here, and then I click the middle of the white paper. These little dots that move control your different sections of your color. So if I want it more faded out, I could move it around a little bit. I'm going to leave it like that. So now the next part, since we're going to do symmetry, I'm going to choose my tool. So I choose it here, and then I get a second one here, do the down arrow, and I'm going to be using that mirror brush. The mirror brush is the one that works really, really well for doing kaleidoscope. So if you wanted to do a kaleidoscope design in the background, you could go ahead and do that first. I am going to do that very quickly. I'm going to go with maybe um, a little bit darker blue. You notice that I'm making sure that I click my color in the box that already has color in it. It says 100%. When these two both have 100% in them, you start getting the weird things that sometimes a little bit easy to get. So my size is here. So I could go with maybe a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to go straight to the middle. And you see how it divides it up into little pie slices. So I'm going to go ahead and just make a little cute design. I'm going to go back to my color. Going to switch a color. And I think this time I'm going to go with a little white in it. I may even choose to go down even a little bit smaller and make another design. So that's going to be my background of my drawing that I'm going to do today. So since I'm wanting to do a symmetry drawing and I have my background done, the next thing I'm going to do is instead of size, I'm going to go down to sides and I'm going to take it all the way to 1. 1 is going to let you draw one thing on one side and the other side is going to mirror image. So it will make it symmetrical. So for this one, I think I'm going to change my color. I think I'm going to go to a nice little purple. And I'm thinking about doing a purple flower. So I'm even going to go a little bit larger. So when you go down to one side, you can see that my dots come and there is a black line that splits my screen in half. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply design, I think I'll do a tulip. So I'm going to go down, up, and over. And since I've got my line kind of thick, I'm going to go ahead and color it in. Now, I could make a weird face. I could do a bunny. But what I want to do is make sure I'm doing something that's spring-like. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of fine-tuning. And you can see that what I do to one side is mirror image on the other. So I'm going to go over. I'm going to do a quick color change. I think I'll go to maybe this color green. I'm going to take my size down just a little bit. And I'm going to do the bottom part. So here again, I'm meeting at the middle. And I'm taking it down to form a stem. I could also, at this time, maybe even do a leaf. Now, if I want to color this leaf in, it makes sense to go over here to size, make it a little bit bigger, and go ahead and color it in that way. That's a lot easier. Am I going to be super careful? This is a drawing. You want it to look good, but you know that it's going to do whatever it does on one side and to the other. Now, if I do mess up, I am going to use the back arrow and I can undo. To give this a little bit more life, I am now going to go put a highlight on it. So I'm going to pick a lighter shade of green. I'm going to go down on size just a little bit. And I'm just going to simply put maybe a line in it. I'm not even worried about whether or not the line is super wiggly. I actually kind of like the super wiggly. Now I'm going to also do that up on the flower. So I'm going to go back to my purples. I think I'll choose a light purple. And I'm just going to do a little bit of waviness to it. So I kind of like the way that's looking. And it gives it a nice design. Could even do a little bit right here. Okay, so now I have a basic tulip. If I wanted to add grass to it, I could go in with maybe darker green. I could add a few little wispy grass. I could even add a few more flowers. Now, another easy way to make a flower is to simply just do dots. So I can take my size larger. It's the largest size. I may go to maybe a yellow. And I could simply put some nice yellow dots that I could go back into and maybe even turn into like maybe a daisy. I'm going to go a little bit smaller on my size. And then I could just simply put some little petals on it. Now you're going to notice that you can't see the other side where I'm adding the petals because right now it's off the page. I'm not going to worry about that because I know that whatever I do to one side is going to do to the other side. Now, you notice I am not even being super careful. I am just kind of making these freeform nice little daisies. I go back, maybe even put stems on them so they don't look like they're floating. So I'm going to put just a couple little stems. 1, 2, and maybe the third one can come back in here. Now, if I wanted to, I could add some leaves. I could go in, and if I wanted to, I could even do something like, why not do a face on them? We want this nice and cute. So their eyes, maybe. Nice little smiley faces. Something else I could do, if I wanted to, you can always outline. What does outlining do for your picture? It just kind of makes it look finished. So a lot of times I will outline my pictures just so they come out. They show a little bit more detail. As you notice, I am not being super careful about where I go with my lines. I'm just kind of drawing as I go. I could outline the daisy faces. I could outline the petals. But what you want to do is take your time. Make sure you do something you really like. If you don't like it, remember, you can always hit that undo, the back arrow, and I get rid of whatever I don't like. So what I want you to do is make sure you are having fun doing this. Think about doing little butterflies, little bumblebees in the background. This is all up to your imagination. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and go over the steps of how to save this. So when I get through my design, I go over here to the export button. I click it. I hit save, download. I will get a little picture over here. And you could copy it to the clipboard if you wanted to go right ahead and put it into your slide, or simply ignore that. If you go into your folder, there it is. So if I wanted to come back later, double click it, and I could work on this later at another time. So have fun with this. Enjoy. You can do as many as you want. If I wanted to start a new one, I could go into plus, blank, create, and start a brand new one. Guys, really enjoy this. Have a great time with it. And don't forget, when you finish your project, make sure you do the next part of the assignment, which is going into the slide, putting a picture in, and answering a few short questions and hitting that submit button. Guys, y'all have fun with this, and make sure you share